Hey, hey. What y'all gonna do? We'll cruise up among the stars. No matter what you do, I'll get you back up off the wall. Yes, sir. Yo, life is full of options. Switching all the time, but the quickest way from A to B is still a straight line. I ain't lying, that is science. I'm trying to explain, cause if you apply determination, you can do anything. You can put your mind to. Give me the audio chord so I can find something to ride to. We're about to fly to another planet. It's magical, what's real like it's intergalactic. The way you make me feel, let's dip, cause we can fly in my starship like Han Solo by the Castle Mines, like Cowboy Bebop with jet and spies, like Captain Kirk on the Enterprise. We can travel far like a Dharma did in a battle star. I'm flinging haters like a catapult. You feel the heat and take it off like what y'all gonna do? We'll cruise up among the stars. No matter what you do, I'll get you back up off the wall. Yes, sir. Keep your windows down. Breeze hitting you didn't know, but you know now. I'm not kidding, there ain't no stopping. BSing is not an option. I just wanna see everybody rocking. I wanna see you getting higher than a rocket. Land a spacecraft with Neil and Buzz Aldrin. She in the cockpit, cruising at an altitude up there where all the stars live. Take the TARDIS back to Gallifrey, we're the guardians of the galaxy. Like Superman and Lois Lane, go to Cybertron on the Astro train. I just want to see you do your thing. If you don't know now, then you'll learn. From the earth to the moon, influenced by Jules Verne. I'm not concerned about what y'all gonna do. We'll cruise up among the stars. No matter what you do, I'll get you back up off the wall. Yes, sir.
Packing up for another trip. If you drive by my way, really there is no rush to this. We can rock night and day. Intergalactic love for this. Take me to outer space. Pick me up on that mothership so we can fly away, fly away.
I get in trouble sometimes. You make me wonder where we're flying to the sun.
Are we going somewhere?
I get in trouble sometimes. You make me wonder where we're
Okay.
flying to the summer. I get in trouble sometimes. You make me wonder where we're flying to the summer.
Where we going, baby?
Ooh. I get in trouble sometimes. You make me wonder where we're flying to the summer. Like
What y'all trying to do?
Okay, everybody wants good love, that's true, I know. Derrick Jones about to break it down with the relationship gumbo. Welcome to the podcast. Ain't no doubt we all need this, ayy. Cause better relationships need better ingredients, ayy. So if you want better relations, it's about communication, finding love, staying together. We all wanna make it better, yeah. Derrick Jones, the host, your relationship coach. Thank you all for tuning in. Relationship gumbo, ayy.
Hey, everybody, we are back. You know what time it is. It's another Wednesday night. It's the Relationship Gumbo Podcast Live edition. And tonight's episode is going to be another one of those. Y'all know when y'all see me here by myself, it's going to be something to remember. So make sure that you do me one big favor. Make sure that if you are not subscribed to the YouTube page, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click the bell. And when you do click the bell, make sure that you say you want all the notifications so that you can get it every single week and you don't even have to think about it. The second thing I want you guys to, and make sure you share this with your friends and family. If it's not this episode, there's a whole lot of them that you can go back and look through and pick your poison. You know some folks that it's going to apply to, I guarantee you. So make sure you share it while you're subscribing. And if you didn't know, and if you're here for the first time, this is also an audio podcast. That means you can listen to it in your headphones, in your car, Bluetooth devices. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, basically everywhere they do podcasts, we are there. So make sure that you check that out. Go back and binge it if you have to. Some people actually went back and binged the whole thing and it got a lot of value out of it. Do it in your spare time, but make sure you do it. So let me go back here. And if you haven't been here before, the way that I run the show is I will pause for 3 seconds, start the show, then pause for another 3 seconds and chop it off on both ends so the audio in the middle goes straight to the audio podcast so that you can listen to it at your leisure. So give me about 3 seconds and we'll start the show. And welcome to another episode of the Relationship Gumbo Podcast. My name is Derek Jones and I am your host. I'm a certified life and relationship coach, an engineer, a strategist, and a mental health advocate. And I feel like maybe this topic tonight, it kind of it puts a big toe into the mental health space, but it's really about logic. And y'all know how I feel about logic. So we're gonna logic this thing down tonight. We're gonna do a hell of an analogy. And tonight's episode is about what are you doing with your mental real estate. So I want you guys to really key in on the words mental real estate as we go on this journey tonight. Y'all know I take y'all on these little mini trips, so make sure you prepared for this one. So, and also guys, those of you who are waiting on the courses, they're right around the corner, they're days away. Make sure that you stay plugged in by going to relationshipgumbo.info. And just keep checking back. It's gonna shock your socks because I'm doing some things. Just make sure that you follow me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and everywhere you can find me, and you'll see the notifications go up. So that's coming literally in days. So I know y'all been waiting on it. So what are you doing with your mental real estate? So you got to think about this, guys. Think about your mind. Think about how much control your brain has over everything you do, physically and mentally. Think about your emotions. Think about feeling angry, feeling sad. Think about the people that we let into our lives. And the picture that I want to paint for you tonight is, if you can imagine, let's go to play land. If you can imagine that your brain in the mental space is a neighborhood, right? Mental real estate. So inside your brain, there's a neighborhood in there with a bunch of houses, right? You get to control what goes in each house. So I'm going to go down a couple of things and just stay with me. So if your brain and everything that happens inside of there's a neighborhood and there's houses, you're going to have a house that houses like your trauma. You're going to have a house that deals with maybe your stressors, work stress, another house to deal with how you're dealing with your kids and your family, and got another house that has your goals, and another house with your dreams in it, and each house has a purpose, right? And the trauma house probably looks a little raggedy, probably has some shingles falling, maybe the what do you call those things, the shutters, one shutter's hanging down, and you got some work to do. It's never going to be perfect. It's a fixer-upper, right? We got some things we got to deal with, right? But it still sits in the neighborhood, right? So it's a part of who you are, right? And sometimes we will have houses that are vacant. And those vacant houses are there to receive new information, new tenants, if you will, to occupy that space. This is the spaces where you'll have like new ideas, new friends, new relationships. And those things sometimes are a revolving door because maybe the friendship or the relationship didn't last that long and you got to evict them from the house, right? Foreclose on the house, bring in something new, right? And those empty houses are important because if that neighborhood is in our brain and we control it ultimately, we get to decide who gets access to the empty houses, right? It's your neighborhood. while you are a gatekeeper to those empty houses, you still got to work on the trauma house, right? We trying to flip that one. We got to do some work on the inside. The trauma house got a couple dogs and a couple pit bulls in front. They on chains and they just, Arr! You got to train those because those get triggered by movement and different things that it's not used to. Maybe something smells familiar. You got to tame the dogs. You got to fix the house. I need for y'all to follow where I'm taking y'all tonight because it's going to be a short trip, but it's going to be an eventful one. So while you spending time, hopefully, fixing up that house, you don't want to spend all your time on the trauma house because you got other things to worry about. You got other things like stress, and you got a job that you got to deal with, and you got bills to pay, and family, and all these other different things that you got to maintain to keep that neighborhood up to par. Got to mow the lawn. You got to do all that stuff, right? So here's the thing. Sometimes we invite people into the neighborhood to occupy one of those vacant houses. And they come in there, you give them the keys, and then maybe sometimes you realize that maybe I don't want them in there. Maybe they hurt my feelings. Maybe we're not really meshing. And sometimes those people that go into those vacant houses that we let them in become squatters. I need for y'all to follow where I'm going. When the squatter sits in there, even though you want them out, it's hard to get them out because they've been there for so long. But you got to figure it out because it's occupying mental real estate that you need to free up. I need for y'all to let that marinate for like 2 seconds. Stop letting people occupy space unnecessarily for long periods of time when they never should have been there in the first place. Right? There's no way for you to know if they're going to be a squatter or not, but once you realize it, you got to get them up out of there. Because you know what squatters normally do, especially if you're trying to kick them out? They destroy the house. They'll kick holes in the wall, steal stuff, mess up all the appliances, and just destroy it because they don't want nobody else to enjoy the house. And they want you to have to spend your money trying to fix it. So now, pause. You're going to allow somebody to come in and stay long enough to destroy a part of your mental space, so much so that you're going to have to spend everything you have to repair it. Sit on that for a second. So the sooner you get them out of there, the less repairing you have to do so that that house can be opened up for a possible new occupant that really belongs there. What are you doing with your mental real estate? Are you managing it well? Are you making sure that everything that you could possibly do is being handled? Now, we're not perfect. We make mistakes. That trauma house got a couple busted windows, the grass brown, dogs barking. You get to it when you feel like it, right? I'm stressed out at work. I'm sitting in the stress house, pissed off, trying to figure it out. And you try your best to maintain those things. You try your best to heal. You try your best to repair. But you always want to leave vacant houses for the new information and the new healing and the new learning to occupy those spaces and the new people, right? Because there's going to be a house that gets constructed that's called redemption. There's going to be a house that's constructed that says, I'm healed. But if you don't leave those vacancies open, you'll never get there. And the houses that exist, because you shut all of the houses down, they dilapidated, they destroyed, they're condemned, you are only stuck with the houses that you already have, and they're already deteriorating because you can't let nothing new in, right? And sometimes the things that you let in are the maintenance people and the construction workers that's going to help you get it together. You shut them all out. You think you have things handled, right? So be mindful. The picture that I want you to have is, if we're talking about mental real estate and your mind is compartmentalized in that way, you don't have to focus on fixing every house at once. You work on one at a time. So it doesn't seem like it's this big thing, right? And just because you have empty houses open to receive new information, it doesn't mean you get desperate to put tenants in those houses, right? Because we want qualified applicants to go into those houses. You don't just put anybody in there. Don't be desperate just because those houses are sitting empty for a long time. You haven't allowed anything new to come in. You've been chilling, been by yourself for 7 years. You done shut it off. I need somebody to occupy the house. You got some fixing to do. Have some repairs to do. You gotta construct those houses in order for them to even be available, because they're not even there. You always want to be in a position, even when you're going through, to allow new information, new people into your lives, new information. So those extra houses have to be available, right? Some people will come in and they will want to buy a house. Some people will come in and they want to just lease it for a little while. You kind of need both, right? Because the ones that lease the houses are the ones that are going to teach you lessons. And sometimes those lessons are good. Sometimes they're bad, but they're all part of your training, right? So while you have those emotional dogs barking out of the emotion house and they getting triggered every day and they trying to bite people and leave me alone and all men ain't shit and women ain't shit and I'm moping around, I'm lonely and you can train those dogs. You can fix that house. It may take some time. But once you get those dogs trained, then they know when to sit down when you tell them to sit down. Because they don't always need to be active all the time. You chill out. Get triggered. Sit. Sit. You gotta tell them to sit. Can't let it control you. You gotta learn how to manage it, right? And again, I say, certain houses can be demolished and totally rebuilt. Start fresh. But you have to be willing to do the work. You gotta be willing to do the work. And when I say do the work, it doesn't mean that you build the house fast, because you want the house to have a solid foundation. So when we're talking about all of these little things that go on in our head, a lot of us are so busy living in survival mode and stressed out mode that we're trying to work on all of the houses at once. It's impossible. Can't fix them all at one time. It's going to drive you literally crazy. You can't do it. It's going to burn you out. It's going to stress you out. And they all going to crumble. And even if they do, because we're human, You build them up in increments because you've learned your lesson, right? So think about that when you're going through things, when you're dealing with things, and we're on this quest to try to figure out who we are, trying to figure out how to move better. You don't have to do it all at once. You are in command of your mental real estate. You are in command of how you move. You're in command of who you allow into any of those houses. And you have to be prepared that somebody might try to mess one of them up. Right? However, even if they do, guess what you have? Because you allowed space for new information. You have tools to help you rebuild. That's what therapy is for. That's what coaching is for. That's what self-inventory and self-assessment and self-love and self-care is for. They're tools to help you rebuild. Because sometimes you are the saboteur. I need for y'all to catch that. Sometimes you destroy them on your own. And even if it is you, we got to get tools to rebuild. If somebody else does it and you evict them, you still have tools to rebuild. Every tenant isn't a good one. Y'all know this. Every roommate isn't a good one. But you push through and you survive and you rebuild. So I need for y'all to really play this one back, send it to your friends and family, and really think about what are you doing with that brain of yours? What are you focusing on every day? Is it a bunch of negativity? Is that emotional house falling apart, cracks in the foundation? Or are you diligently working on making sure that you learn how to manage it better? What am I spending my time on up here? Because everything flows from that brain. That's your brain. That's your neighborhood that you're responsible for the upkeep. You're the builder. Right? So you have to think about which one of those houses in the neighborhood are you spending the most time in? Is it the stress one? Depression house? Childhood trauma house? Which one of them is running you today? And then you have to ask yourself, once you make that assessment, am I able to navigate my life by focusing on that thing every day? If the answer is no, then you got to get a toolbox. You have to borrow a toolbox on somebody. You may have to. Get some help. Can't stay in a depression house forever and be okay. You can't stay in the stress house forever and be okay. Can't stay in that traumatized house forever and be okay. Remember, the trauma house had the dogs outside. They biting folks. Know what that means? That means whatever you're going through, the people in your environment are being affected by what you're doing. They got dog bite marks all over them. So think about it, guys. I'm about to wrap this up because I got things to do. About to wrap it up. But I want y'all to really sit on that. Which house are you focused on the most? And is it allowing and helping you to move into a positive direction as far as what you need and want in your life, your goals, your dreams? Because the goals and the dreams have their house too. Right? Are we spending any time working on those? Or are we sitting in the stress house? Punching walls? See, in the angry house? Where do you spend your most time? And have you spent so much time there that you ignore the fact that the house is falling apart? You got your little chair and your little soda and you chilling. Guess what's gonna happen? If you stay there too long, that roof gonna cave in on your head. Be mindful of where you spend your mental real estate, where you spend your space, what you're thinking about the most. And that will help you understand the deficits in your behavior. Because as this is a relationship show, being able to manage all of that stuff effectively informs how you show up when you partner with someone. John Singletary said the trap house, yeah. So I really need that, I really need for y'all to really digest that, right? And I know you, some of you are gonna have to replay it or whatever, send it to some folks, but really think about where you're spending your time. You know people that's always angry, judgmental people. They judge everybody. You got people that's always depressed, always stressed out, always, just being mean to people and being a hater. They're a hater house. Somebody living in a hater house every day. Go on social media. Right? Where are you spending your time? Because just because the stress house and the anger house exists, right, doesn't mean you got to stay there. You owe yourself a visit every so often, but you don't stay there. Because you got to go to the goal house. You got to go to the dreams house. Got to go to the financial freedom house. Like, you got to figure out where you're spending your time. And as I close, you got to make sure that you leave those vacant houses open to receive new information and new people in your lives. Don't be walking around here talking about no new friends and I don't need nobody but myself. Those vacant houses need to be there. And if you don't have any vacant houses because you're just going through, you're going to have to figure out how to construct a few. Don't lean into your own toxic, traumatized understanding because it's a detriment to your health. Leave some space for something new to come in so that you can really push forward. We're not getting any younger. A lot of us got gray hairs. We got to get it. We got to get it done. We got to get it done. John said the hater house is huge. Yeah, that thing is like the White House. That thing is huge. And for a lot of us, the depression house is huge. The anger house is really big. Where are you spending your time? And whatever your answer is, it's your truth. But now you have information once you figure that out on what you need to improve on. That's the key here. So I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I know this show wasn't super long, but hopefully you got a lot of value out of it. I know I did, as I was making up stuff as I went. 'Cause that's what I do. I want you guys to digest this one. I want you guys to make sure that you are following me everywhere, especially Instagram. Stay on Instagram. You're going to see a lot of stuff going on next week as we move towards the courses and promotion of those and some other goodies that are coming along with that. So I have to be on promo mode for indefinitely at this point. So I'm going to have to do some things just like we all do, right? We got to do some things that make us uncomfortable in order for us to get to the goals that we want to achieve. If a relationship is something you want to achieve, you're going to have to put the work in on yourself to make sure you show up for the person that's meant to be for you. So these are life lessons, guys. So make sure that you move with intention And even if for whatever reason you backslide, you can always get back up and keep on pushing. So on that note, Erica says time for another IG pop-up. Yeah, I'm not gonna put my foot in my mouth, but I'm a aim to do one tomorrow. Cause I've been in here I've been recording and I'm trying to make this thing great. And then I want it to last a long time. So I'm trying to make sure that all of the little gears and everything and the knobs and the switches are doing what they're supposed to do for you guys. So that you have a great experience. And then I'll be adding on things literally like every few weeks. You'll see something new pop up. So I'm excited about it. I'm going to make sure that you guys are excited about it, because it's going to be something that I think is unique. I'm not going to say that it hasn't been done, but it's going to be damn near close, because your boy be thinking. So make sure that y'all, like again, I say, go to relationshipgumbo.info, follow everything, follow me on Instagram, subscribe to the YouTube page, and yeah, let's get it, guys. Make sure you take care of yourself, stay safe, take care of your family, and make sure especially that you take care of yourself. Now we'll see you guys next week, same time, same place. Enjoy.
Okay, everybody wants good love, that's true, I know. Derrick Jones about to break it down with the relationship gumbo. Welcome to the podcast. Ain't no doubt we all need this, ayy, cause better relationships need better ingredients, ayy. So if you want better relations, it's about communication, finding love, staying together. We all wanna make it.